Watch Dogs was one of the most anticipated, if not the most anticipated game of 2014. Following its announcement in June 2012, everyone was anticipating a great game. When Ubisoft first showed gameplay of this game, it looked beautiful and everyone wanted to play this game even more. The more days passed by, the more excited people became about this game. It turned out to be Ubisoft's biggest commercial success. It broke the record for the biggest first day sales of a Ubisoft game. But even though this looks like a huge success, after this shit went down. People did not like this game. Many people complained about the graphics being downgraded a lot. Many people complained about the storyline. Many people complained about the bland ass characters. And on the Steam market, this game has a very negative rating compared to other hugely anticipated games. But the reason I'm making this video is I don't agree with these haters of Watch Dogs. I simply do not fucking agree. I personally bought Watch Dogs 1 for my PlayStation 4 and that turned out to be a great fucking decision, which I will come back to later on. The original Watch Dogs game is a dark story, which is driven by personal emotions such as anger and revenge. For example, he loses his niece when a criminal was targeting him instead. And his sister gets kidnapped, which forces Aiden to comply with the demands of this kidnapper, even though he doesn't want to, because the demands he has are fucking ridiculous. Personally, I get really sucked into the story, because I could see myself being in such a situation. Of course, it's fictional, it's futuristic, and technology doesn't have as big as a role in our modern lives as it has in this game, but I could really understand what the main character was going through. However, when reading some reviews on the interwebs, people did not agree. They thought the story was boring, there wasn't enough action, not much was happening, the story progressed very slowly, etc, and I completely disagreed. I don't understand why people don't like such a personal story, such a emotion-driven story. It was so cool to me, because this man, Aiden Pearce, is just out for revenge. The entire world is against him, hurting his family, hurting himself for personal gain. And I don't understand how you can even come close to thinking this is a boring story. And those same critics also criticize the characters for making the story even worse. Because people have criticized Aiden Pearce for being a really boring guy. A guy without a personality. And they have also accused the other characters of acting as a bunch of programmed bots. And I don't agree. They have accused Aiden Pearce of being nothing special, just a regular ass dude. But in fact, Aiden Pearce is just a regular ass dude. Like, he's just a normal human being, like me and like you watching this video. And I really like his deep dark voice when he's talking about what he's thinking or what his next step in getting his sister back is going to be. I really appreciate that, and these cutscenes made me want to keep playing this game. What happens next? Is he gonna save his sister? Is he gonna get revenge for his killed niece? What's going to happen? I don't understand those critics at all. In my opinion, the characters were voiced almost perfectly, and the cutscenes really added something. I did not feel like the storyline was boring. I did not feel like the storyline was progressing too slow. I just don't understand that, man. I really don't. But anyway, enough about the story. Let's just talk about the other things Watch Dogs have to offer, right? The people were also talking shit about the gameplay itself, about the missions being repetitive. I kind of agree. I understand the missions being repetitive because you're usually doing the same things. You're going to a certain place, there's a bunch of guards, and you have to either kill them with your silence pistol, or you have to knock them out by using technology, by hacking technology. And that's basically every mission. There's not much depth to it. But I feel like GTA, let's take GTA for example. GTA has a lot of missions where you're just supposed to shoot a bunch of people and that's the mission. You get respect, money, etc. How is this not the same as GTA? I don't know. Instead of looking at this from a, oh my god, this is repetitive perspective, which I do agree on, they could have been more creative with missions. But repetitive doesn't necessarily matter if it's good. If you have a winning formula, why would you change it to possibly get something worse out of it? I don't know why that's a complaint of people. And these missions did have a purpose, they made the story progress, etc. So the storyline combined with a sort of repetitive but good gameplay made this game enjoyable. And the same with the side missions. You have these fixer contracts, you have these random people that are threatening, for example, a woman, you have these gang hideouts, etc. And those are basically the same things, they're just in different locations, but it's the same mission over and over. It's just a copy pasta, really. And I understand that people think this is lame, this is boring, this is repetitive, this is not something that makes the game have a replay value. I understand it, but I do not agree. I really like doing these side missions. They're fun to do whenever you're taking a break in between missions. And they're fillers. They're not supposed to be amazing missions. And even though they're copy pasta, these side missions had a purpose. Whenever you complete a side mission, you get these rewards. And these rewards could vary from music, cars, money, outfits, etc. So it's not like you gained nothing from them. It was just a fun little side thing to do in case you wanted a new car to order or you wanted new clothes. It's not like they're completely pointless. And I do agree they're kind of a filler thing and they're kind of too much copy pasta for my taste. But it made it rewarding to do for such a short period of time. But then again, I do understand, after a couple of gang hideouts, I've seen them all really, and I just don't really feel like doing them anymore. So I understand that repetitive thing, but that doesn't make the game bad. On top of that, this game really introduced something new. In GTA, whenever you're running from the cops, you're just getting a car and driving as fast as possible to get rid of the cops. In this game, they tried to introduce something new with technology. You can hack your environment to escape cops or enemies. You can hack things such as bridges and traffic lights. And sure, it's limited, but it was a new idea. It was something new they introduced to the market, and it gave a new aspect to escaping cops and enemies, and it made it somewhat easier. Where in GTA, you sometimes drive for about 50 minutes before you finally lose a cop, this made it more realistic. So far I've defended the original Watch Dogs game, but it's not like I didn't have my problems with the actual game. So first things first, the most obvious thing when you're playing this game for about 20 minutes. What the fuck are these car designs? You make a game, you present it as if this game has the best graphics ever created, and then you bring this shit onto the market. And sure, the world looks fine, the characters look fine, the gameplay is fine, but you make these cars which are Game Boy fucking graphics, like we're not in 2002, what the hell is this shit? These cars look so unrealistic, so ugly, so goddamn stupid that I'm ashamed someone got paid to design these. And that's not even the only problem with these cars, just try to steer these cars. Trying to steer these cars is impossible. Whenever you're pulling your Joy-Con to the right, it takes 9 minutes to respond, and then even then it turns like slower than an absolute fucking snail. It's impossible to drive these things. Like, who thought of this? Who drove these cars, designed these cars, and was like, yes, this is a good idea. Let's not make it like GTA, where the driving mechanics are great. Let's just fucking make something that infuriates anyone playing this game. Oh yeah, great idea. Why? Just fucking why? But that's not the only designing thing they fucked up. The character customization in this game is non-existent. Sure, you can buy these different outfits, but in my opinion they all kind of look the same. Sure, they sometimes have a yellow color or a red color or a blue color, but I want different clothes, man. I want different kinds of pants, I want different kinds of jackets, I want different kinds of hats, I want different kinds of t-shirts. Not just the same style clothes, but just a different color. That's not character customization. Why does Aiden Pierce only have one outfit which he can wear in different colors? Like, I don't understand. Character customization is such a big thing in a game. Look at Saints Row, look at GTA. It made the game so much better. Like, if you spent a couple more hours on character customization, this game would have been way better than it already is. And then a personal small complaint. I don't like the RPG system upgrade BS, like with the skill tree. I don't really like it. Whenever you complete a mission, you can get these skill points and you can unlock these skills which can, for example, make you reload faster, or you can hack different things. You can unlock hacking a train, for example. I kind of understand it. You have to somehow make it impossible at the start of a game to access everything, to make yourself overpowered, but I have no idea if this was the way to do it. Some upgrades, even though you have the skill points, you can only unlock it after completing a certain mission, because it will make you too overpowered before a certain mission. And I just feel like it wasn't really thought through. I feel like it was kind of a rushed concept. I understand the system, but it just isn't it, Chief. It really isn't it. And then two things that annoy me the most about Watch Dogs 1, which made this game really, really painful to play through sometimes. In Watch Dogs you have these different areas, and all of these different areas have these fucking towers, these fucking degenerate idiot towers. And if you don't hack these towers, you don't have access over the CTOS network in the city, so you can hack nothing. You can hack absolutely nothing. And there are so many towers, and these towers aren't easily accessible. You have to climb on a bunch of things, then you have to find a box which you need to hack, then a door opens and then you can hack the tower. Sure, these towers have rewards such as cars and money, etc., just like the side missions, but like, Why? I don't fucking care about hacking these towers. They are kind of time consuming if you're as brain dead as I am, and they take you 10 to 15 minutes. And then you've hacked the tower and you finally have access to the CTOS network and you can finally continue with your life. But doing this about 20 to 30 times isn't fun. It's just tedious and annoying, and oh man, it's such a fucking pet peeve of mine. Like I haven't read any complaints about these towers. It might be just me, but I feel like it's such an unnecessary aspect to this game. Like, just give me access over the entire city, man. Don't make it this hard. Like, come on. And then one thing many people have complained about, and I absolutely goddamn agree: the frames and the fucking crashes, man. Holy fuck. This game was not made for PC. This game was not made for PC at all. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I bought this game on PS4, and on PS4 it did not lag much. It did not crash, obviously, because it's a PS4 and games don't usually crash on PS4 unless your PS4 is absolutely fucked. But it really only lagged whenever I was driving really quick, like the fastest speed possible. Then I had a couple of lag spikes. But this game was on sale on the Steam market for $2 a couple months ago, and thus I bought it. And now I can finally understand why everyone is complaining about the frames and the crashes. Like, holy fucking shit. If you're gonna make a game that's for PS4, but you also want it on PC for the PC gamers and thus more revenue, at least make the PC port a good port. Like, what the hell is this, man? I have a good PC. I can play Quantum Break, I can play Watch Dogs 2, I can play basically any game without any lag or whatsoever. I have enough RAM, I have enough CPU, I have enough everything. But this game, it's impossible. I looked for many tutorials in order to fix this shit, and it just wasn't possible. Like, I even fucked around with the files and it was set to console instead of PC. I changed it to PC, I changed my max buffered frames, I changed basically everything, and it just didn't matter. I even set launch options for this game in order to fix the frames while driving, walking, everything, but it just didn't work. I was playing this yesterday before recording this video because I wanted some gameplay for this video, and it was absolutely fucking impossible, man. Every 2 minutes there was a huge lag spike. Whenever that didn't matter what I was doing, driving, walking, shooting, it didn't matter. This game was not made for PC, and I am so happy I bought it on PS4 so I got a fun experience, because I don't want to play this game on PC. It's just too much fucking lag for such a fun game. I don't understand how this isn't solved after 5 years. Like, I don't understand what your problem is. How hard could it be to make a game playable on PC? I fucking hate Ubisoft for that. That being said, it doesn't mean that all the pros don't weigh up against the cons. Like I said, the frames and the crashes aren't a thing on PS4, so that takes away a huge complaint of mine, which is probably the biggest complaint I had about this game. And the fun gameplay, the fun side missions, and the interesting storyline made this game a really fun game to me. Even after all this backlash on Watch Dogs and the bad ratings on the Steam market, Ubisoft did not stop. This probably had a lot to do with the record amount of sales of a Ubisoft game, and they released Watch Dogs 2 in 2016. In my opinion, Watch Dogs 2 is the better game of the two by a long shot. It seems like Ubisoft finally listened to their customers and they read all the backlash on the Steam market, because damn, this game is probably one of my favorite games I've played in a while, probably since GTA San Andreas actually. The storyline of this game is a less heavy and less dark story, it's more humorous really. A lot of people have called it childish and they wanted the dark story, the intriguing story of Watch Dogs 1 back, but I don't agree. I think this storyline is just a good story on its own. It's an interesting and humorous story about a bunch of hackers who notice that the big companies, and in particular Bloom's chief technology official Dusan Nemec, were continuously tracking people's data, knowing their whereabouts, knowing what they're doing on the interwebs, and using their information for personal gain. It's a story that incorporates jokes and fun moments, but under the surface there's a message about sacrificing our privacy and the companies getting more and more powerful because they possess so much information about us and our privacy isn't really a thing anymore. Even though I wasn't as heavily invested into the story as I was in Watch Dogs 1, this story was still interesting to me because sacrificing privacy is a real issue in today's world. Even though I would say this story isn't as amazing as the Watch Dogs 1 story, I would say that's completely negated by the gameplay, because holy shit, they improved the gameplay by a fuck ton. There's so much detail to this game. Like, let's just start with the world. The world in Watch Dogs 1 was kind of bland, it was kind of boring, there wasn't really much to do. The characters seemed kind of generic to me. But in this world, it looks like it's realistic. There's people walking their dogs, there's people randomly punching cars because they're angry about something, and there's just always stuff happening that happens in the real world. It looks like you're just walking in an actual world, an actual open world, and it isn't as dead as Watch Dogs 1. And then the actual gameplay in missions makes me so goddamn happy. These missions are much more diverse. You have to do a bunch of different stuff. It's not just the same mission every time where you have to go to a building, kill people, go to the next building, kill people, etc, etc. That's the mission. There's a lot more things to do and everything has a purpose. You need to hack a giant missile, or you visit the dogfight arena because you need something from a guy that's working there. And the content inside of these missions has much more variety than in Watch Dogs 1 as well. Because for example in Watch Dogs 1 you can hack a forklift and it goes up or down. In Watch Dogs 2 you can control a forklift and do anything you want with it. You can control it from a distance and move it like it's moving on its own. And all the people, all the enemies around you are just like, huh? Why is this thing moving on its own? I have no fucking idea. Which wasn't possible in Watch Dogs 1. On top of that you have your own droid which can go through vents and scout a building for you. You have a flying droid which basically does the same but it can fly, so it has more options than the driving droid. You can hack these bots and make them attack people, which was one of my favorite things to do in Watch Dogs 2. You can play as this big ass fucking robot spider and kill people. There's so much more to do hacking wise than in Watch Dogs 1 where you could just press one button and then something happened. In this game you can actually move stuff around and use them to your advantage. But there's not just the upgrade in hacking technology, which is much more diverse in this game. For example, whenever you're in a tricky situation, you can call gangs or police to take out the enemies instead of you. Some have complained this made the game much easier, but these gangs and police members are usually kind of weak and they kill 1 or 2 people at most. But I thought it was a really fun option, it was really different and really made this game more diverse. There's so many options available to clear a level with and it just makes the game fun and more diverse than Watch Dogs 1. Side missions in this game are also more diverse, they make more sense, they're not just random events happening in the world. They actually have a purpose, they have something to do with expanding your army, with expanding your empire. And they didn't feel as pointless and random as in Watch Dogs 1. They listened to the complaints about the boring character customization in Watch Dogs 1 and they finally added some fun stuff. Instead of buying an entire outfit, you can buy t-shirts, shirts, hats, bags, shoes, etc. all on their own, and they have such fun combinations. I mean, just look how I customized my character in this game. He looks like a fucking idiot and that's exactly what I want in a game. And I'm not the only one that's as happy with Watch Dogs 2 as I am, because the Steam market actually really liked it as well. With an almost 80% like rating, I would say this game was received way better than Watch Dogs 1 by a lot of people. My conclusion is Watch Dogs 2 was definitely better than Watch Dogs 1, but my general opinion on this whole Watch Dogs debacle is the hype made it look bad. People anticipated this game so much, they had such high expectations, and the gameplay was good, but it wasn't amazing. It wasn't what people wanted, it wasn't what people expected, and that made it look bad. But it's really not bad, it's actually a really good game, it stands on its own, and I feel like you shouldn't be a fucking sheep and give into the hype. Just have your own opinion, play this game with a clear mind and you will like this game. And after playing Watch Dogs 1 you will like Watch Dogs 2 even more, because in my opinion it's an upgraded Watch Dogs 1, except the story isn't as intriguing as Watch Dogs 1. And I for one am very excited about Watch Dogs Legion, mostly because you can recruit the entire world and you can play as a fucking grandma. Who doesn't want that? I have already pre-ordered the game and I hope this video convinces you to do the same, because Watch Dogs is definitely worth it. It stands on its own. It's not a GTA, but you should not expect it to be a fucking GTA clone. I feel like a lot of people aren't trying this game because of the negative opinions about this game, because people are saying, oh, it's not as good as expected, it's shit, blah blah blah, high anticipation. Just try it, it's not that bad. But if you want to play Watch Dogs 1, don't buy it on PC. That's my only advice. It's the lag, man. The fucking lag. It's just a no-go. But if you play Watch Dogs 1, you will definitely enjoy Watch Dogs 2. And that's all I'm going to say, man. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. If you like this video, then definitely leave a like rating. If you like it more, then definitely hit the subscribe button. And all I want to say is, the hate is undeserved. It's a good game. You can't change my fucking mind on that one. Alright. Later.